Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Right, today's first map, we're right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment. In fact, we're looking at the top performing anything of the moment. Maps are never ever the top performing thing on the workshop. Ever. This is. So maybe it's the best map ever. Maybe we'll be checking it out. There is something in this map though that has just blown my mind. I mean that. We'll get down to ground level soon enough. Second half of the show, we'll be having a look at the longest waiting request map. This one's been requested by the retired Mandalorian and it's a long overdue. Very nice looking vanilla map to follow. But first of all, we have to do some housekeeping. That's right, doing my laundry for me is a really good way of supporting the channel, getting me seen by more people and hanging my underwear out for the public. Oh, and clicking the like button's good too. Today's first map is Costa Azzurra by Radko. Now, I'm going to be honest, not a big fan of the thumbnail. That's probably the worst thing about today's map. Okay, there's your start square. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about this map, it's pretty nicely framed. I thought it could have been a little bit more land. Maybe there could be a little bit more land. It's not the flattest, but there's enough. There really is, as you'll see a bit later on. We have strong resources, tons of resources, oil in them there hills if you want to go up there. If you've got Sunset Harbour, you want to do some fishing, a little bit disinteresting in terms of fishing maps, but I can live with it. It's not really what I'd call a proper fishing map, but there we go. And then off to the workshop. Well, what do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Other than that, it's 100% vanilla. We will, however, be using the La Viante LUT, the vanilla European theme. And nicely written description, as always. Nicely structured description. What more can I tell you about that? Anyway, we've done Radko 3 times in the past. Well, kind of twice. Okay, we did them first time around. They got 9 stars. It was a mix of a 2, a 3 and a 4, and it was a very standard sort of first review of a creator. You can see some very nice intersections today, by the way. Look at that, so very professionally done, that I would say. But yeah, so the first time round was very much a very typical first timers map. There was a 2-star, I think it was 2 stars for detailing or something like that, but there was a 4 stars in there as well to balance it out for a 9-star total. Then we did their Bay of Plenty map and it got 12 stars, which is pretty reasonable. Yeah, pretty reasonable. It's what you're looking for, basically. That's the target. Get 12 stars. That's all you really want. Okay, anything beyond that is just getting greedy. Anyway, so they got the 12 stars, and then I kind of misplaced that we'd done that one, and then when version 2 came out, we reviewed version 2 of that map as well. It got another 12 stars. I wouldn't normally, there's another very slick looking intersection there. I don't normally do remakes or re-ups of maps unless there's a very strong reason. I think that one, I think it might have even been a request map, and I didn't notice that we'd done version 1. So hey ho, you know, we're all allowed to make mistakes. We are. You are. I am. We all are. But maybe sometimes we're not. Anyway, this is a very neat little map. We've got a very nice little networking system. I'm going to pick up on 1 or 2 minor grumbles. They're only minor grumbles today. Okay, 100% vanilla as well. So if you are a vanilla player, you can play this one very happily. Although there was something, of course, mass transit. You'll need mass transit, but there was one thing that caught my eye on this map, and I thought, oh, you missed something there, Teddy. And they hadn't. It's something so mind-bendingly good that I thought it wasn't vanilla. This is the standard you'll be looking at today. We'll come back and look at the bits and bobs. We'll cover the networking first of all. Have a look at some of the networking. Have a look at some of the, like, we've got the vanilla keys in there acting as retaining walls, stopping everything from crumbling away. Another very complex, beautifully done intersection there. just super impressed with the intersection work. You've got to remember, we're working with intersections in the hills here, which means it's not just a question of coming out with something pretty, but something that fits and just feels natural. And all the intersections here on this map fit and feel natural. Heading down towards the start square, and there's another little thing down here which we'll come back to a bit later on that I was going wow for a little while. And that's this little cemetery here. We'll come back and have a look at it later, but that cemetery bizarrely had me going wow. It's not the thing I was talking about earlier, but it just feels so natural right there. How often do we see these cemeteries plop down and they don't make any sense, or they just feel a bit plopped? Oh, by the way, everybody's favourite factory is down here by the harbour. Very neat. That's there for the BonBonBingo players. I know there's a few of you. Anyway, yeah, we got rail. The rail's pretty slick. What can I tell you? Pretty slick. We have a little hint of catenary chaos going on there for those of you that worry about such things. And again, there's always a couple of you that sort of don't want catenaries actually straddling lines. But it was there. Here's perfectly good, you see. Here's perfectly good. But yeah, there was just a little hint there. Anyway, the rail goes through tunnels. Where are we heading through? There we go. It pops out over here. But yes, very strong, very classic standards on this map. So far improved from their early work. It's almost a different creator. It's almost a different creator, but not, clearly. The coastline there, Costa Azzurra, so we're off to Italy. Just sort of mention Italy whilst we get the opportunity. Let's have a quick look at the shipping routes as we are looking at all of the ocean. Possibly a bit more sea than I would have liked, possibly, but I can't fault it. Shipping routes, I can't fault these. These are totally believable. These are almost like they were drawn from real life. Absolutely all good with all of them. Nice work. And then I guess we should have a look at the water flow in the start square for those of you that worry about that sort of thing as well. Heading down here, we do have a river running through the middle, which is carrying enough water for water flow to be a thing. Yeah, you should be all right, I feel. You should be. It's not the strongest, but it's definitely going to be workable. Just, yeah, use common sense, you know, or skyline sense even. Anyway, yes, got all this coastal area to build along, which is very, very lovely. And the tiles work so well. There's a 9-tile spread. It's like an M formation that you can fit all the buildable space into the 9 tiles. It makes so much sense. I should have grabbed an image. Maybe I'll edit one in later. Anyway, defensive positions again, Italia. So we were a little bit involved in said war back then. Liking this. I even don't mind the machine gun point used there as a bunker, a control bunker, command bunker. There's a couple of those on the map like that. I don't mind that they're copy pasted. They work neatly. And then we have, because Italy has a little bit of history. I don't know if you know that. Just a little bit. Most of European history is based around Italian history, isn't it, really? Anyway, we've got... Oh, sorry, Roman. Anyway, it's a castle. Get the word in there for the BonBonBingo players. It's a good shaped castle. It's a nice design castle. It's compact, believable, works into the environment nicely. We've even got sort of like a defensive moat type thing. It's not a moat, but it's a ditch. There you go. It's a ditch preventing easy intrusion. We've even got a little gate in the middle of the castle there as well. Do you know what? Really like that. Really like that. They don't just happen, castles that good. They just don't happen. Right, okay, rivers. Okay, have a little look here. We've got a little bit of a lumpy river there. A couple of bumps as we head up in. So yeah, we've got a slight, if you see here, we've got a long slow curve heading to the left, which is exacerbating the bumpiness of the river. Trying to find where the cause is. Might be that bend there, but yes, it's bends in the river, and there are ways and tricks to balance these things out with, like maybe a little lake, or just it's water control. It's not an easy thing, not to explain in a brief episode like this. Anyway, here's that lovely intersection. Just worked so well into the terrain that it's 100% believable. And yeah, there's something in there. Don't know if you noticed that. We'll have a look at that something in a moment. Another intersection worked nicely into the terrain with a little switchback on the way out there. I'm saving the best to last, you know. I'm saving the best to last. Harbours are nicely worked. We got all this rock work along here as well, so that looks good. The beaches, I think the beaches were a little bit more golden in the screenshots. There's that cemetery. Again, it's silly that I like it so much, but how often do you see cemeteries used that well? As we came in this way, you get the cemetery there. It's just in amongst the trees, in just like I just buy it. So many times you see a cemetery and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. That works so well. So well. Okay, elevated to the ground level roads can cause a little bit of zigzag along the side with the terrain. That's what we've got here. Tiny little bit of jiggy-jaggy going along the side of the roads there. Also, I don't know if it's just my eyes because I've seen so many. I can see a little bit of pixelization up here in the hills. I don't know if you can make out some of the shapes in the hills there. It's not the worst at all, far from it, but it just catches my eye a little bit more than I want it to. So just a little bit of a softening tool over there. I like the shape. I don't want the shape changed at all. Just softening some of those sharper edges. Not all of them either, just a few of them. I think that would be cool. We have a couple of trees just with the feet in the water. A couple of bushes there. That's probably a little bit of the lumpy water syndrome, where we have got the slightly bumpy river going on there. And this is very nicely done, by the way. This rock here, it's not causing any water glitching because the terrain has been worked to allow it to sit proud of the water. Simple, subtle, simple work. And another defensive point there with, I told you there was a couple of cut and pasted defensive points there to look at. So, is there anything else I need to show you before we have a look at the pièce de résistance? I don't think there is. So, don't know if you noticed this one, but this bridge, 100% vanilla. And I was pretty sure this was a custom asset. This looks like it's just a prop. You know, dragged in, plopped underneath my custom bridge tutorial. This is 100% vanilla. Have a look. Just have a look at this. Okay, I'm going to prove it to you. Let me get rid of all of this. I'm going to grab all of those, copy it. There's our bridge. I'll bring it over here. I'll stick it down in the start square. Boop, flat ground there. Look what happens to our bridge when we stick it on flat ground. That is vanilla assets worked beautifully into terrain. That is exceptional work. I'll saying that because I've tried to do something similar. I'll tell you what, it was a freaking nightmare. Freaking nightmare. Teddy Radko, you have just broken the game with a bridge of this quality in this location. It is so good. I had to break it to be sure it wasn't a custom asset, even though nothing was showing in the report, the loading screen report. That is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Anyway, yes, we've got another river along here, which has got a little bit, but yeah, we've got some bumpy river syndrome going on, which it's just again, oh, that was the same river. It's the same river. I take it back. Sorry, I haven't pulled you up twice. But yeah, just a little bit of bumpiness going on. I'm liking the shapes of the rivers though. The shapes of the rivers totally believable. The shapes of the terrain. I'm loving a lot about this map, and the amount of buildable space again for a 9-tile game is on point. The beaches are cool. Like I say, I think in the screenshots they were more golden than this spot one, but I've gone with the theme that the map loaded with, which was the vanilla European. So if you're looking for a more golden style beach, just load the map in with probably the tropical theme, I would suggest. Loving the river outs there as well, and of course oh look, blue, the essential lighthouse, everybody's favourite lighthouse there. Isn't she lovely? Yes, strong map, very strong map. I can see why so many of you have voted it up. Possibly, like I say, I'd like to see a little bit more buildable space myself, just a little bit, possibly centering the map a little bit closer into the water, just slightly less ocean would be nice, my opinion. But all told, I mean, how do you get grumpy about a map like this? Tell me, what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Just make sure you're voting on the correct of the 2 maps. Right, what do I think of today's first map? Well, aesthetically, yes, it's vanilla, and so we could be having we could have something a little bit more punchy. Would I like more golden beaches? Possibly, but I'm using like the theme it loaded with. But all told, I think this is strong. I think it looks good. Got a little bit of digitization again in some of those hills, which only I think an eye like mine would spot, really, having seen so many. I'm going to go for a middle 4. I like it. Detailing, I'm going to do exactly the same middle 4, but give a little bit of a boost, just a little bit of a boost for the quality of that bridge. I can't believe how good that bridge is. So I'm going to go for a medium high 4. Gameplay potential, everything's in place here. Again, I'd like to see some more space, just some more space to get up towards that 5-star area. But again, a middle 4. This is a map that's going to please many a player, especially those of you who are 100% vanilla. Costa Azzurra by Teddy Radko. Definitely getting my BonBonB seal of approval. That is so nice. Well done, Teddy Radko. You are fast becoming one of my favourite creators. So we started off with a vanilla map. We're going to follow up with a vanilla map. Now this one, okay, we'll accept it's not as polished as the first map. You can't always have the most polished, but it's a different shape. This is a river map. There's plenty of buildable space. It's not as flat as well. If you like building in undulations as well, this could be a map for you. Maybe you're looking to do an Appalachian style map. Maybe this is one for you. One minor problem with today's second map, just one. The rest of it, it's fine, good to go. Today's second map is Duhaime, boreal map by DrivingABus. DrivingABus, first time on the show, not their first map, this is their 5th map. All of them look vanilla. So if you like their work, there's 4 other maps that probably similar sort of standards. Probably not seen them. There was the start square. Terrain heights, it looks pretty, I mean, there's plenty of buildable space. It's not super flat, we will have a look at it. But there's plenty of buildable space that is workable. And then if you want resources, a bit of oil, bit of ore, bit of fertile under the ocean. The river. And then, of course, if you've got Santa Harbour and wanted some fishing, a lot of salmon in that Thar river. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, you know, I've already told you it's a 100% vanilla map. Apparently there's a perfect location for a dam. There's quite often perfect locations for dams. We're not going to be looking at that. We'll be having a look at the overall layout, the overall standards. I'll tell you, the overall standards are pretty reasonable. First of all, notice there are no trees under the roads. In fact, there are no trees in the river. Look, the river is devoid of trees as well. We're looking at some decent standards, some nice equidistant roads that are just following what are, on the whole, sensible routes. On the whole, there's 1 or 2 minor grumbles that I'll briefly point out as we fly over them. We won't come back and check them because I think overall, I think for the map that we're looking at, for the everybody loves a big old bridge, don't they? Everybody loves a big old bridge, big old bridge. Anyway, yes, for the sort of map that it is, the minor grumbles that I'll be talking about won't really be an issue. Like down here, I think it's my biggest one here. Intersection's nice. Okay, it's a Timbo intersection. And then we bear off here, come over here to cross the bridge. Oh, that's the one thing on the whole map. Disconnected highway right there. And then the bridge loops back in this way so it can loop back out the other way. The routing on that bridge, if you have a look from the map down, I would have had it slightly different, I feel. Then down here to the start square. Start square, loadable, buildable space in this area. Loads of room to break off in different directions. Lots of trees as well, if you want to do forestry. Yeah. So, yeah, you got the one broken bit of highway. You've got a little bit of routing on the approach to that bridge. There's also a switchback, which looks a little bit clunky in a few moments' time. I'll point it out when we get there. These are my only real grumbles about this map. Now, on the other hand of it, there aren't that many things that I'm going to sing and get super excited about on this map. But is it always about having exciting things to sing and dance about? I don't think it is. I think sometimes it's just about having a solid map with an interesting shape that you want to build a city on. And this could click for that. Here's a switchback that just feels a little bit awkward. Just a little bit awkward. I'm not sure what it is. When you consider the rest of the route, look at the route this is taking through the hills here. And this will actually exit off over the through the map via the mountains. This, all told, is a very accomplished set of routing for the highways. And we've got the same with the rail as well, although the rail doesn't really approach too closely to the start square. We've got two routes, one down here, which is a little bit bumpy. Not stupidly so. On a map like, again, on a vanilla map like this is well within tolerance of what most of us would be happy to play on. So that's all good. And then somewhere over the other side of the map is, there we go, another one. This one comes in via the mountains. It's brave to bring a railroad in via the mountains. It's eyeball checking, okay. Not 100% realistic, but eyeball check, like here, you can just see a little bit of a rise here. We're going up about 20 meters in a relatively short spell, but eyeball checking, that's not too bad. Okay, and there are a couple of little places like that where the rail will rise or drop, but all told, look at it. All told, this is pretty decent standards. And I'm not going to grumble. I'll be like, here, we're doing a bit of a climb here as well. I'm not one to grumble about something like this. It was a brave move to take the rail in from the mountains and then work it down to ground level. Me, I would have copped out. I would just gone alongside the route of the river, which I think is the route that the railroad people would have probably followed as well. But this the rail ends here. Let me just show you how close we are to the start square with our two rail ends. So start square, so our rail ended here. Start square is down here, and the other rail ends up there. So we're a little way away. If you're looking to do rail, you're going to be buying a few tiles before you can actually work rail through your city. But yeah, it's let me just switch the lines of terrain on, because you can see, because we've got a lot of trees, it's very hard to see the hills. But yeah, you can see, while this is all buildable area, it is undulated and we've got shapes of land to work on. So you'll be doing a little bit of city planning. Those of you that like building on the hills and working with the hills are going to find this map very pleasing indeed. Of course, around the outside of the map as well, we've got the mountains as well, which have got a real interesting shape to them. Well, I mentioned the Appalachians, like these ridges are a little bit Appalachian in shape. Little bit. I mean, I'm stretching here, right? But yeah, a few of those ridges remind me of that part of America. So yes, all told, it's not. Yeah, the overall score, it's not Appalachian, right? I'm just trying to ridges, the ups and the downs and the bumps, yeah? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Anyway, rivers. We've got some strong rivers. We've got this waterfall right on the edge of the map. I don't mind the waterfall there, because actually I hate it. And it's going to be deep in fog on the vanilla map and nobody's ever going to see it. So it doesn't matter that I hate it, because honestly it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. We've got another bit of rail over here, which tells a story to me about the development phase of this map. You can see we have a bit of rail here, so it's probably going to be a viaduct across there, a bridge across there. Not quite sure how it was meant to connect in. I mean, where was that rail line going? can't... Yeah, it comes around this way. Maybe it was meant to connect in. I don't know. Maybe there was supposed to be something up this way. I don't know. Or maybe they were following a route and realised it didn't work and then changed to a route that did work. And I agree, the route they took did work. It's just not super high polished. This is where we are. What more do we need to do? I suppose we check for shipping routes. Shipping routes are fine. It goes the length of the river, then stops. So you won't have any ships flowing unless you put a harbour down, which is good. Some of you don't like ships rolling down rivers that aren't doing anything. Anyway, that's all good. We also have good, strong, high bridges, and we're passing through the middle, so that's points for that. We've got a strong river flow as well, so we're going to have to give some points for the strong river flow. Plenty of river flow, which is exactly the sort of thing that you want on a vanilla style game, and that's what we have here. Right on the edge of the map, to ensure that we have strong river flow, we've got a couple of negative water spawns there, just sucking the water away, meaning that the river that is upstream is going to come downstream to fill that. We've got a couple of early map bumps in the river there as well. Early map. I didn't give the chance for the river to sort itself out fully, but it's almost there. Okay. I do like this lake. This lake makes sense to me. I like the lake down here by the end of the rail. If you're looking for the rail ends up there. But yes, the lake makes a bit of sense to me, so I think we can award points for that. Not many, but points. Points. What the points make? All the UK viewers are shouting prizes. Yeah, no they don't. No they don't. Anyway, we've got one tree in the river down here. Yes, he's got his trunks up, but there we are. That's about the one meme thing on the map. Oh, other than the big old bridge, I guess. Anyway, what do you think of this second map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure when you do this, because you will do this, won't you? You're voting on the right map. Don't want to mix those two maps up. Okay, what do I think of Duhaime, a boreal map by DrivingABus? Well, aesthetically, it's very old school vanilla, but it's not unpleasantly so. There's nothing really in here that's selling me up. I like some of the shapes of the hills, but then there are things that hang me back a little bit as well. I think we have to go down the middle with a 3. I can't go any higher, sadly. I'd like to. Detailing. On the whole, there's not too much to moan about. On the whole, I'm liking the routes of the road as well. So the routes are nice. The rail is a nice route. There's nothing to grumble about. I'm going to go slightly above middle 3, just slightly. I'm going to reward the work. Gameplay potential, I'm going to go slightly below middle 3 because the route layout, however, does mean you're going to have an awful lot of traffic running down the central highway between the two sides of the map, and that could cause a little bit of chaos, just a little bit. But Duhaime, a boreal map by DrivingABus, is a very solid vanilla map if you're looking to work with a map with strong rivers and, of course, just a little bit of undulation for you to make you think about how you're going to lay out your city. Just a little bit different, that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you are still here, use the word of the day to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. You know the place to do that, don't you? Yeah, that's right, down there in the comments. I'll be back not tomorrow. Yes, I will be back tomorrow with a little bit of live streaming, looking for a crazy map, or a great map, maybe, on the live treasure hunt. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.